Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanathmirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Teachings of Queen Kunti, Chapter 17, continued. When there is too much lawlessness and there are too many criminals, the state becomes overburdened and disturbed, and the state administrators are puzzled about what to do. Similarly, when the world is overrun by demons and atheists, they create a burden, and the demigods, the pious administrators of the universe, become perplexed. When the people of a state abide by the laws, administration is easy. But if people are criminals, they overburden the state administrators. A similar situation sometimes upsets the balance of the cosmic affairs of this material world. Both the demons and the demigods always exist. But when the demoniac power increases, the world is overburdened. It is then that the demigods approach Lord Brahma for assistance. See, one thing here we can note. So even the demigods become perplexed. So when the world is overrun by demons and atheists, so we should understand that even their powers are limited. And so it is only eventually only Vishnu, Krishna, who can sort out things. So even if people are engaged in demigod worship, lower modes, they are engaged in demigod worship, but they will still engage in, possibly not so pious activities. So demigods are also bewildered and they are also perplexed. So all this today, whatever we are seeing, increase in demoniac power. We are seeing increase in demoniac power in Kali Yuga. So world will be overburdened. World is overburdened, so there will be suffering. So we have to work towards making the society more pious and engage in spreading Krishna consciousness as much as possible. So actually, next this month and next month, and maybe till Vaikuntha Ekadashi. So we have a very good time for all of us to put some our little efforts to reduce the burden of this world. So we should this Kartik Vrata, right, of offering diya to Lord Damodar is a very easy and powerful way to make people pious. So try hard, go to each and every house. Yare deko tare kaho Krishna Upadesh, ask them to do this vrata. And by doing such things, gradually the burden will be reduced. We should not think, oh, what is the use of one person offering one diya? It's a big use. It's of great use, right? So, and also we should encourage people to generally do this this vrata for the whole month, uh, so that they will get some pious credit. They will get some mercy from Lord Krishna. So then slowly, gradually, the demoniac power will decrease. Prabhupada always said, yeah, just because there is rain outside doesn't mean that we don't take a umbrella. Right? So, yeah, there is demoniac power outside. Doesn't mean that we just sit with our hands tied, saying that, oh, anyway, this is Kali Yuga and this is bound to happen. We have to do our effort. We have to put our effort. But the reason for increased suffering in the material world is due to increase in demoniac power. That we should understand. And trying to find artificial temporary solutions to this is not the real thing to be done, right? So that the piety amongst people has to be increased. So we have to. Prabhupada taught us all this very simply through his actions. So we have to follow him. Lord Brahma is one of the 12 authorities known as Dvadasha Mahajana. Swayambhur, Narada, Shambhu, Kaumara, Kapilo, Manu, Prahlado, Janako, Bhishma, Balir, Vaya, Sakir, Vayam. Vayam. Mm. This is, he was saying, Yamaraj is saying. Uh, we have to follow. We have to follow the Mahajanas, the great authorities, if you want to receive transcendental knowledge. The Vedic injunction is Tadvigna Artham Sa Guru Meva Abhigachet. If one wants to be in knowledge of everything, one must approach a guru, a bona fide authority, a spiritual master. The original guru is Krishna. As Krishna taught Arjuna, he also taught Brahma, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. So if you want to receive transcendental knowledge, we have to approach a guru. Now we have to understand this is not necessarily referring to Diksha Guru. This is referring to Shiksha Guru. Everyone has to have a Shiksha Guru, right? Srila Prabhupada is our first Shiksha Guru, right? And subsequently, every devotee has to look for Shiksha Guru who Prabhupada always said, Person Bhagavata and Book Bhagavata, which is better or which is mm, superior. Prabhupada said it is Person Bhagavata because he can twist your ear. So we have to approach that person Bhagavata who will be our Shiksha Guru and who will twist our ear. There's no point in approaching a guru for just hearing nice things. Then what is the use? I mean, we are not going to make any progress. Most devotees just want their gurus to just smile at them. That's all. If guru says something, then disciples are upset. Oh, how can my guru say like this? I am doing so much service. But guru is the role of guru is to correct us. The guru is saying something, then we have to understand it is for our betterment. So, and that Siksha Guru eventually becomes Diksha Guru. Right? But that Shiksha Guru is very, very important. We have to have that Shiksha Guru who can twist our ears. So we have to approach. We have to approach here. And Shiksha means here, Shravanam. There is no process of Shiksha without Shravanam. Right? And people today, unfortunately, in ISKCON, it's going crazy, right? Like people go into Diksha without even hearing. So there's no Shiksha at all from the Guru, but and they say that they have now surrendered to the Guru. How can you surrender to a Guru without even knowing who he is, what he expects out of you? So very just people running behind numbers. I don't know. It's not the right thing to do. First of all, Shiksha has to be there, and then Diksha. So Shiksha means Shravanam. So we have to be careful, right? As teachers, it is actually in our hands. None of the gurus in ISKCON will force people to take initiation, right? I mean, they want devotees to follow properly and then only take initiation. But our level, we are a little bit, we keep pushing people, take, for whatever reason. I mean, good, bad, ugly reasons, right? But that's not going to help, and actually doesn't serve the purpose of the guru. So we have to be careful. Guru trusts us, and uh, given us the authority to recommend people for mm, getting initiated. But we have to be responsible. Every guru expects his disciples to be responsible while we bring people to his lotus feet. So it's important that Shiksha happens. Shiksha happens. Otherwise, there's no use. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes the original source of the creation, and this should be the actual subject matter of our research work. What is the original source of creation? Janmadhyasya yataha. The original source of everything is the source of Janma, Titi, and Pralaya, creation, maintenance, and dissolution. The original source of everything is the source of Janma, Sthiti, and Pralaya. That is Lord Krishna. Our body has taken birth at a certain date. It lasts for some years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, or whatever, according to the body. And then it will be finished. Where did the body come from? And when it is destroyed, where will it go? There are scientific laws concerning the conservation of energy. What is the source of that energy? There is a source. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. And that source is identified in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That source is not blind. Rascals think that everything has come from nothing. But how can something come out of nothing? There is no proof that such a thing happens. But fools claim that it does. This is the Big Bang theory. There is no proof that such a thing happened. But fools claim that it that does, and therefore they are blind. But the nature, what is the nature of the original source from whom everything has come, in whom everything exists, and within whom everything will enter? This is the original source of everything. Bhagavatam says, Janmadhyasyeto anvayad itarataschatvesho vigna swarat. The word abhigna indicates that the source of everything is completely conscious. Abhigna, gna, completely conscious. So it's not that some nothing or some energy which is non-conscious, which is unconscious, resulted in this creation and is resulting and is the reason for maintenance and is the reason for dissolution. No. And the original source is not blind. The original source is completely conscious. And Prabhupada is using simple logic to destroy, demolish this demoniac theory of creation that scientists put forward. The word gna means knowledge and abhi means specific. We have inadequate knowledge of where we have come from and where we shall go after death, and therefore we are not abhigna, supremely conscious. But the supreme source is abhigna. He is not a stone or a void. How could he be? The creation itself is evidence of the consciousness of the supreme. See, this is such a nice statement. Creation itself is evidence of the consciousness of the supreme. What does this mean? Anybody wants to explain what this means? The creation itself is evidence of the consciousness of the supreme. Any thoughts? Okay. See, basically there is, if you just look at this creation, no, it's so perfect. It's so complete, right? Whatever is required for the jivas to exist is all provided at the right time, at the right place. Like for example, if suppose say you're cooking, you're conscious about what you're cooking. You're putting the right ingredients, you're putting the right quantity, etc. Similarly, there is consciousness in this creation. There is consciousness behind this creation. So how can there be consciousness without there being a person? And because this person's consciousness is supreme, it's all perfect. The creation is all perfect. It's just the human beings who were actually spoiling everything. So Prabhupada is explaining this. Everyone can appreciate the cosmic manifestation, how nicely it is working. So this, that it is working nicely requires consciousness to create such a system, to create such a creation. The sun and moon rise exactly on time without deviating even 1/10,000th of a second, and the seasons change in the same way, bringing with them fruits and flowers. In this way, entire cosmic manifestation is going on in a very orderly, systematic way. So unless there is some abhigna, some very clever intelligence who knows everything, how could all this have been created? Some people say that all this has come from nothing. What is this nonsense? Can such a creation come from nothing? Does this idea show very good reasoning? The Bhagavatam says no. So Prabhupada is clearly refuting all this nonsense science, in which everybody blindly accepts. Oh, that too, this craziness that, oh, I'll go to like today, specifically with respect to the medical field, right? Go to allopathy, whatever they say is good. They're blind. They're completely blind. Scientists are blind. Doctors are blind. Everybody is blind. Only those which are based on Shastra, which is Vedas, like for example, Ayurveda, maybe, they are not blind. They know exactly what is going on in the system, and accordingly they can treat. But otherwise, everybody else just mental speculating. They're all blind. Or blind means blind to different extents, limited blindness or limited vision. The Bhagavatam tells us that everything comes from the person who is a Bhigna, very intelligent and experienced. And that original intelligent person transmitted knowledge to Adi Kavi, the original created being Lord Brahma. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. Brahma, the original created being, has an original source. and he's in contact with that source. Vishnu, he is the source, and Brahma is in contact with Vishnu. We understand that we get knowledge from another person with whom we are face to face. But when Brahma was created, he was alone. Therefore, how did he receive knowledge? That is explained in the Bhagavatam. Tene Brahma Hrida. The word Hrida means through the heart. The Supreme Person, Paramatma, is within the heart of every living being, including Brahma. Therefore, although Brahma was alone, he received knowledge dictated by the Supreme. The word Brahma means Vedic knowledge. See here, it is not Brahma, it is Brahma. The word Brahma means Vedic knowledge. Thus, the Vedic knowledge was given first to Lord Brahma. The Vedic knowledge is given to everyone because Krishna is within everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. But one must be qualified to receive that knowledge. See, this is very important. Paramatma is there in our heart. Krishna helps us by giving us knowledge both from within as the super soul, Chaitya Guru, and from without as the supreme spiritual master. So Krishna gives knowledge as Paramatma. But one must be qualified to receive that knowledge. Who is qualified to receive that knowledge? Who is pure in heart? The one who is pure in heart is qualified to receive that knowledge. Otherwise, actually, most others who are not pure in heart, who are behind, their own sense gratification, they don't even care for this knowledge. Forget about their ability to receive it. They don't even want this knowledge. And as somebody becomes more and more qualified, becomes more and more pure, wants to receive this knowledge, then Paramatma will reveal. Paramatma will take him to a bona fide spiritual master. So it is the amount of purity in our heart that will help us, that will take us to the right source, take us to the right knowledge. And today purity doesn't exist. I mean, people are just so self-centered that there is no purity. Every action is self-centered, right? It's all about self-gain. So in one sense, social work and all these things are good. Prabhupada says, somebody who's so fallen, engage them in some social work. They will engage in some good work, at least non-selfish work, selfless work. That is good. And slowly they can get purified gradually, maybe over years, multiple lifetimes, etc. And then they can become qualified to receive this knowledge from Paramatma. Brahma receives knowledge from Krishna and distributes that Vedic knowledge. And therefore he is an authority. There are 4 sampradayas or chains of disciplic succession through which Vedic knowledge is distributed. One from Brahma, one from Lakshmi, one from Lord Shiva, and one from the 4 Kumaras. We have to approach an authoritative representative of Krishna appearing in one of these sampradayas, and then we can receive real knowledge. This we should understand. And though we theoretically understand, we are still happy to hear from anybody and everybody on the internet. Somebody says Bhagavad Saptah, somebody says something else, somebody says I am only my guru. And such people are famous, majorly famous in Kali Yuga, who don't have any guru themselves. And they talk complete material crap. But people are so ignorant, so stupid that they can't differentiate. Just because they're not talking about their, some day-to-day software or some, mundane material work, but they're talking about maybe subtle material stuff, but they can't differentiate. People can't differentiate, and they appreciate such people saying, oh wow, this person has written something about Bhagavad Gita, and he's written complete nonsense. Why? Because he's not part of any sampradaya. Thus the earth personified approached Brahma, who prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The world is now overburdened with demons, and therefore I request you to appear. Some say, therefore, that the Lord appeared at the request of Brahma, and Brahma that he appeared at the request of Brahma that he lightened the burden of the world. So Brahma prayed to Vishnu, saying that please lighten the burden of the world, and so Lord appeared. So Prabhupada is highlighting in his purport, saying that Lord appeared because the world was overburdened with demons. That is the reason the Lord appeared. And the Lord has appeared in Kali Yuga as Nama, in the form of Nama. right? So we have to distribute this nama to as many people as possible, and then automatically this demoniac tendency will reduce. So we should arrange for congregational chanting. Prabhupada said congregational chanting of Hare Krishna, give prasadam, that's all. And that is good enough to get the most fallen of demons to become conscious, to become Krishna conscious. Simply these two. Just arrange for mass distribution of prasadam, mass harinam. Not simply like food for life and then forget about it. No, engage them in harinam. First they have to engage in harinam. Half an hour, 45 minutes harinam, then prasadam. Mm, Because prasadam is also pure, but harinam is even more powerful. Because people can understand. Uh, Prasadam, they'll just think, it's some food, and they'll just eat. But of course, it also has its effect. But the process is because the Kali Yuga process is Harinam, Nama. So we have to engage them in Harinam and Prasadam. Both are powerful, and it will have a very powerful effect on the individuals. So we should just arrange for this, organize mm, Harinam on the streets, distribute Prasadam. This has to happen every day, literally. And that's when the demoniac tendency will reduce. Today we are happy doing once in a week. Somebody comes to the temple, and yeah, and then slowly, steadily, devotees start chanting, which is good. But what about those people who are not even coming to the temple? What do we do for them? Go out, reach out to them, go on the streets. This is what Prabhupada wanted, right? And we are trying to do. At least, now in Karthik, every day we are trying to go out, provide this opportunity for people to offer diya, they'll hear Harinam, and prasadam, we are giving prasadam. So it will benefit the world if we simply follow these, uh, whatever has been recommended by our acharyas. When Krishna appears, he protects the devotees and kills the demons. Therefore, Krishna in his Narayana form has four hands. In two hands, he holds a disc and club with which to kill the demons, and in the other two hands, he holds the conch shell and lotus with which to bless and protect the devotees. So Krishna does this protecting devotees, killing demon in his form as Narayana, not himself, not Swayam Krishna. His form as Narayana, he does this. The Lord says, Kaunteya pratyanihi name bhakta pranashriti. Thus Krishna bugles with his conch shell. My devotees will never be vanquished. And with the lotus flower, he extends his blessings. The lotus flower, which sometimes also appears in the hand of Lakshmi, is a symbol of blessings. So the Lord protects his devotees and gives them blessings. So bless and protect. Lotus is for blessing, conch shell is for protecting. Now, some may say that Krishna appeared for this purpose or that purpose, but the real conclusion is that Krishna appears for his own pleasure, not because he is bound by any other cause. So this now Prabhupada is coming to the real reason, right? So Krishna doesn't appear for any reason. Narayana can appear. Vishnu will appear for reason, for protecting devotees, killing demons. But Krishna himself doesn't appear for any reason. It is just for his own pleasure, no other cause. He's not bound by any other cause. Even maintenance, he's not bound by the maintenance, cause of maintenance, which Vishnu is bound by because it's his responsibility, portfolio. We take our birth because we are bound by our karma. But Krishna, being fully independent, does not come because of someone else's request or because of karma. Rather, he comes by his own free will, Atma Mayaya. We are compelled to take birth because of Krishna's external material energy. But Krishna is not controlled by Maya or energy of anyone else, and therefore he does not take birth in such a condition. Maya, the illusory energy, is under the control of Krishna. So how could Maya control him? One who thinks that Krishna, like us, is controlled by Maya is described in Bhagavad Gita as Mudha, a fool. Avajananti ma Mudha, Manushim Tanumashritam. Krishna is the original Narayana, the original source of the entire cosmic manifestation. Brahma, or the first living being born just after the creation, is the direct son of Narayana, who was Garbhodakashai Vishnu. who, as Garbhodakashai Vishnu, first entered the material universe. Without spiritual contact, matter cannot create. Those who are seeking the original cause of the material creation should know that the creation takes place when the spirit soul is present. Matter is activated by the spirit soul. It is not that the soul is created by matter. So spirit soul has to be present first, only then matter is activated. According to the Buddhist theory, the living force, the living energy we all have, is created by material conditions. See, Buddhists say that the prana is created by material conditions. At the present moment, the entire world is influenced by this Buddhist theory. The actual fact, however, is that matter develops because of the presence of the living force. We can understand this very easily. After a child is born, he grows and his body develops. But if the child is born dead, if the spirit soul is not present, then the body will not develop. Therefore, the spirit is the basis for the development of matter and not vice versa. Why does a dead child not grow? Because the spirit is not present. A child grows as long as there is life in it. If we sow the small seed of a banyan tree in good soil and favor it with water, it will grow because the spirit soul is present. But if we were to fry such a seed in fire and then sow it, it would fail to grow because the spirit soul would not be there. See, when we fry the seed, basically we are killing. So then the spirit soul is not there. And then it won't grow. Matter grows and develops because of the presence of the spirit soul, and this principle has been followed from the very beginning of the creation. At the beginning of creation, the Supreme Spirit entered the universe, and the first living being, Brahma, was born on a lotus flower grown from the transcendental abdomen of Vishnu. Accepting that the lotus on which Brahma was born is matter, we should understand that it is also grown from spirit. Therefore, spirit is the basis of creation. Because the lotus flower on which Lord Brahma is born is grown from the navel of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu is known as Padmanabha. Brahma is known as Atmabhu because he was begotten directly from the father Narayana or Vishnu. Without the contact of Mother Lakshmiji, Lakshmiji was present near Narayana, engaged in the service of the Lord. She was pressing his feet. But still, without contact with Lakshmiji, contact meaning like human beings, Narayana begot Brahma. That is the omnipotency of the Lord. When we want to beget a child, we need the help of a wife because we cannot beget a child alone. But Krishna, Lord Vishnu, produced Lord Brahma without the help of his wife Lakshmi, although she was present because he is not dependent on anything. One who foolishly considers Narayana to be like other living beings should take a lesson from this. The Vedic literature forbids one to think that the other living beings are on an equal level with Narayana. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivataihi Samatvenaiva Vikshveksheta Sa Pashandi Bhaved Dhruvam. Someone has invented the word Daridra Narayana, trying to show that Narayana has become poor and that the beggar who comes to my door to beg is also Narayana. This is not authorized in the Vedic literature. Narayana is the master of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and only fools think that he somehow becomes poverty-stricken. Rascals say that Narayana, Brahma, Shiva, all the demigods, you, I, and everyone else are all on the same level. Rascals say that we are all Narayanas. This is foolishness. Narayana is asamurdhva. This means that no one can be equal to or greater than him. Therefore, Krishna himself, the original Narayana, says in Bhagavad Gita, Matta parataram nanyat. There is no one superior to me, nor is anyone equal to him. The word asama means that no one is equal to him, and anurdhva means no one is greater than him. So asamurdhva, asama not equal, anurdhva not greater. That is the position of the Lord. Narayana is not an ordinary living being. He is the personality of Godhead himself. And he has all the potencies of all the senses in all parts of his transcendental body. An ordinary living being begets a child by sexual intercourse and has no other means to beget a child than the one designed for him. But Narayana is all powerful and therefore he can beget a child from his navel. Every part of his body has full potency as explained in the Brahma Samhita. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti. For example, I can see with my eyes, but Krishna can also eat with his eyes. Foolish rascals will say, you are offering food to Krishna, but what has he eaten? It is still there. He has not eaten anything. Such people do not know that Krishna can eat just by seeing, for he can do anything with any part of his transcendental body. When a washerman refused to supply cloth to Krishna in Mathura, Lord Krishna displayed his transcendental potency by cutting off the man's head with his hand. How was this possible? It was possible by the Lord's omnipotence. The Lord is complete and independent to do anything and everything by his various potencies. It is explained in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam by the words Abhigna Swarat. The word Swarat indicates that he is self-sufficient, not dependent on anyone. That is a qualification of God. Nowadays, there are so many self-proclaimed incarnations of God, but as soon as they have some toothache, they immediately say, "Oh, doctor, help me, save me." If you're God, save yourself. What a powerful statement. See, if you're God, save yourself. Why go to a doctor? Such people are rascals and they make it very difficult to spread Krishna consciousness. Because they will say, you are God, I am God, everybody is God. They make it difficult to spread the real consciousness, real God consciousness. The whole world is now overburdened by such rascals and demons. And therefore, the atom bomb is waiting for them by the will of the Supreme. So Prabhupada is saying, because this whole world is now overburdened by such rascals and demons, there are going to be calamities. There are going to be wars, pestilence, everything. It's all waiting. And slowly and steadily it is uncovering, but it's only going to increase as Kali Yuga progresses. We have to understand that. So we have to help. We have to do our little bit in reducing this demoniac tendency of the world. So whatever possible, like I said yesterday also, let's not be self-centered. Let's not sit at home and say, oh, okay, I'm doing my sadhana. I'm doing my sadhana. So let others figure out. Is their problem. That's too self-centered. And that doesn't sound good for Srila Prabhupada's followers. It could be for, other organizations, but not for followers of Srila Prabhupada. Such a self-centered person. I mean, at the age of 70, he went out to benefit the whole world at the age of 70. So we shouldn't be sitting at the age of maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, wherever we are. We can't be sitting at home. So we have to go out and spread whatever knowledge he has given us. So authentic, so perfect, so complete. So I request everybody, like these 2 months are absolutely an opportunity. We should do this the whole year, but at least we should do this for 2 months. Karthik and then book marathon. Right? Please don't sit at home. Please do something, at least 1 or 2 days a week, if not all days. Go out and, benefit the world. We have been benefited. Whether we are taking full benefit of that or not, it is up to us. But we have been benefited because we are here hearing about the Lord from Srila Prabhupada. We are chanting Hare Krishna. We are absolutely benefited. Whether we are going to make full use of it or not is up to us. But there are thousands and lakhs of people out there who have no mercy at all, who have not received any mercy, just engage in sense gratification. And if we don't put any efforts to go and preach, spread the word, spread the mercy, then we are just self-centered. And Prahlad Maharaj says, I don't want to be like those sages who go to the Himalayas for doing meditation. So Prabhupada, that's not Prabhupada's mood, and that should not be our mood as well. Okay, so I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, we can discuss. Hare Krishna. Okay. We will close here. Vanchakalpatarubhyashta kripasindhubhyo patitana pavanabhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah Anandakoti Vaishnavinda ki jai Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.